The silent battlefield of female hypergamy. Nature's harshest truths. Listen carefully, and because what I'm about to tell you might change how you see every relationship in your life. There's a law that governs female attraction, an instinct older than civilization itself. It doesn't care about love, promises, or potential. It only respects one thing: power. This is why the nice guys lose. This is why loyalty fades. And this is why the strongest men understand that love is not given. It's negotiated through value. You're about to enter the silent battlefield of female hypergamy, where emotion meets strategy, and the weak are erased. Watch till the end, because once you see how this game works, you'll never play it blindly again. You see, the modern man walks through life believing in fairness, in love as a contract of emotion, in loyalty as a moral anchor. But nature does not play by human ideals. It plays by power, by survival, by dominance. And in this primal arena, there is one principle that governs female selection across time and culture: hypergamy. The unconscious drive in women to seek the highest value mate available to them. Most men never understand this. They confuse affection with permanence. They confuse attention with devotion. They confuse emotional warmth with loyalty. But the Machiavellian mind does not live in illusion. It studies patterns. It decodes behavior. It sees reality as it is, not as he wishes it to be. If you've ever lost someone you thought was yours, only to see her quickly align herself with a man of greater status, greater confidence, or greater control, comment: "I've seen it," because you've witnessed hypergamy in its most honest form. The nature of the game. To understand the battlefield, you must first understand the nature of the players. For the woman, attraction is not just emotional, it is survival. In the ancient world, a woman's safety depended on aligning with a powerful man, one who could protect, provide, and dominate his environment. That instinct didn't vanish with modernity, it merely changed its camouflage. Today, power is not only physical, it is social, financial, psychological. It's the aura of control, the man who commands a room, who radiates certainty, who doesn't seek validation but dictates it. The hypergamy orbits around this force like a planet around the sun. Women are not consciously evil for this. Its instinct is just as a lion does not apologize for hunting. The Machiavellian man understands this truth not with resentment but with mastery. He doesn't fight nature. He rides it. Because power doesn't come from demanding loyalty, it comes from becoming the kind of man whose value makes loyalty a privilege. Comment below. Do you believe loyalty can exist without power? Let's see how many of you understand the core of strategy, the silent shifts. Hypergamy doesn't announce itself, it whispers. It begins with subtle dissatisfaction. He's nice. But that "but" is the seed of hypergamy. It grows silently when she scrolls through social media, when she sees another man living with discipline, ambition, dominance. It grows when comfort replaces tension, when predictability replaces polarity. Men who worship comfort often unknowingly dig their own graves. They make themselves too available, too predictable, too soft. And in the silent mind of a woman, something shifts. The instinct whispers, he's losing his edge. The Machiavellian man never lets that whisper grow. He maintains mystery, discipline, ambition. He is grounded yet unpredictable, like a storm that might break at any moment. Not out of manipulation, but because control of perception is power. And perception drives attraction. If you've ever felt the shift, when a woman's tone changed, when admiration turned into apathy, comment, "I felt it." That was not emotion. That was evolution testing your strength. The modern illusion, Modern society teaches men to chase equality in romance, but equality does not exist in the domain of attraction, the polarity does. Masculine energy attracts feminine submission, and when that polarity dies, so does desire. The man who kneels for approval becomes invisible. The man who stands with conviction becomes unforgettable. But here's the dark truth. Modern hypergamy has evolved. Social media has turned the biological instinct into a digital weapon. A woman's access to higher value men, even if only through illusion, is infinite. The comparison never stops. And if a man's ambition stagnates, if his presence fades, she begins to mentally exit long before she physically leaves. The Machiavellian mind sees this not as betrayal, but as data. Because understanding female psychology is not about bitterness, it's about leverage. You can't win a game you don't understand. Comment if you agree. Modern love has become a marketplace. The Machiavellian mindset. Niccolo Machiavelli once wrote that men must learn to be both fox and lion, cunning enough to recognize traps, strong enough to crush them. The same applies here. To survive in the world of hypergamy, a man must embody duality. He must be gentle in public, ruthless in purpose. He must inspire love, but never depend on it. He must offer his heart, but keep his throne, because love without strategy is slavery, and loyalty without power is illusion. The Machiavellian man doesn't chase validation. He creates value. He doesn't beg for respect. He commands it through competence, silence, and presence. You must become the kind of man who cannot be replaced, not because you control others, but because you control yourself. In a world where attention is currency, discipline is dominance. Comment below. What's the rarest currency today? Your answer reveals your understanding of the game. The emotional chessboard.
Let's talk strategy. Every interaction between man and woman operates on two layers, the emotional and the strategic.
Men by nature play emotionally, can be giving, proving, convincing.
Women by nature play strategically, but observing, testing, selecting.
This isn't evil, it's survival logic. But when a man plays emotionally in a strategic game, he loses. The Machiavellian man mirrors the strategy. He learns emotional detachment, not as coldness, but as control. He knows when to give affection, when to withdraw, when to create space. Because tension builds value, and predictability kills it. She must feel your absence as much as your presence. That's how power operates, not through constant noise, but through controlled silence. If you've ever noticed how silence made someone chase you more, comment, I've done it. Because in this world, silence is not weakness, it's warfare. Power, not possession. One of the greatest errors men make is believing they can own loyalty. You cannot own what is based on perception.
A woman's loyalty is tied to your perceived value, emotional, social, and psychological.
When your value declines in her eyes, loyalty fades like smoke in wind. That's why the Machiavellian man never stops evolving. He invests in his power, his body, his mind, his purpose. He never lets comfort decay his edge.
Because in the silent battlefield, the moment you stop advancing, someone else becomes the prize. Hypergamy is not conquered by demanding loyalty, Tobias. It is conquered by constant self-ascension.
The only way to keep power is to keep growing. Every woman will test you. Not because she wants to destroy you, but because she needs to feel your strength. A test is not an insult. It's an invitation. To stand firm. To hold frame. To show her that your emotions serve you, not the other way around. When she provokes, you stay calm. When she doubts, you don't chase validation, you let your actions speak. When she withdraws, you don't panic, you let absence reveal her attachment. The Machiavellian man doesn't react. He observes, He knows that control over one's emotions is control over the entire battlefield. Control is power. Let's see who truly understands that. Hypergamy always seeks the upgrade. This doesn't mean every woman leaves. It means every woman subconsciously evaluates. And in a world of endless options, the evaluation never ends. This is why emotional dependence is a man's downfall. The moment your happiness depends on her presence, your power dissolves.
The Machiavellian man loves deeply, but never desperately.
He gives, but never attaches. He understands that all connections are conditional, even the ones that feel eternal. That's not cynicism, that's realism. And realism is liberation. If you've ever rebuilt yourself after losing someone, welcome to reality. Because that's when a man discovers his true value, when loss becomes transformation. Now let's look at the illusion of morality. Machiavelli taught that morality is a tool, not a prison. He didn't mean to abandon ethics, but to recognize that in a world ruled by instinct, morality must serve survival, not sabotage it. In relationships, moral illusions destroy men. They believe loyalty should be unconditional. They believe love should last forever. They believe that effort guarantees return. But nature doesn't respect promises. It respects power. When a man learns this truth, he stops negotiating for affection. He starts building the kind of life that magnetizes it.
Strategic masculinity.
The Machiavellian man embodies what I call strategic masculinity, the balance between emotional depth and psychological control.
He is capable of affection, but never addiction. He can love a woman, but not lose himself in her.
He doesn't hide his emotions, he governs them. This man is dangerous, not because he manipulates others, but because he cannot be manipulated. He understands human nature too well to be deceived by it. If you want to become this man, start with 3 rules. Detach to observe. When emotion rises, step back and see the pattern. Control perception. Never explain too much. Let mystery protect your power. Evolve relentlessly. When comfort whispers, answer with discipline.
Because power is not a destination. It's a pulse that must keep beating.
Comment, I choose power, if you're ready to live by these rules. Now, how do you navigate hypergamy instead of falling victim to it? The answer is not control, it's awareness. The Machiavellian man doesn't fight women's nature, he anticipates it. He recognizes when admiration turns to apathy, and he adjusts. He senses when energy shifts, and he adapts. He doesn't seek reassurance, he seeks results. He makes himself the prize, not through arrogance, but through constant refinement. He keeps his world larger than his relationships. He invests more in his mission than in emotion, because when your purpose is your anchor, no storm can sink you. This is the true art of dominance, internal dominance. Here's a secret few men master. Withdrawal is power. The ability to walk away without emotional collapse is the ultimate proof of strength. When you can detach with dignity, you become unbreakable. You train her subconscious to respect your absence as much as your presence. You turn emotional need into emotional leverage. The Machiavellian man doesn't chase. He attracts through scarcity. He doesn't beg, he rebuilds. He doesn't crumble, he recalibrates. Because the one who controls when to engage and when to withdraw controls the entire game.
The Red Queen effect. In evolutionary psychology, there's a concept called the Red Queen effect. You must keep running just to stay in the same place. That's hypergamy in motion. The moment you stop improving, someone else becomes more desirable. But the Machiavellian man doesn't compete with others. He competes with his own potential. He understands that his value isn't measured by attention, but by impact. He evolves so consistently that no one can replace him.
because no one matches his transformation. That's how you outplay hypergamy, not by fighting nature, but by outgrowing it. The final lesson. Let's strip it all down. Hypergamy is not the enemy, it's the test. It's nature's way of pushing men toward greatness.
The weak crumble under it, the strong rise above it. If you view it through resentment, you lose.
If you view it through awareness, you win, because once you understand female hypergamy through the Machiavellian lens, you stop reacting emotionally and start acting strategically. You stop seeking fairness and start seeking power. You stop demanding loyalty, that's the words, and start embodying value. And when you do, something remarkable happens. Love returns, not out of need, but out of respect. Women sense strength the way wolves sense fear. And when a man becomes a fortress, loyalty follows naturally. And so build yourself, refine your strategy, become the man whose absence creates silence. Because in this silent battlefield, the only real victory is mastery.
If you've watched till now, comment, I rise above. You're already ahead of most.
And remember, power is not given. It's built. One decision, one boundary, one moment of control at a time. Subscribe for more truths the world doesn't want men to understand, but because knowledge is power, and in this war of perception, the informed mind always wins.
And now you understand.
This war was never about love. It was about leverage, about understanding that in every relationship, someone sets the frame and someone lives within it. The Machiavellian man never surrenders that frame. He knows that power, once given away, is almost never returned. So let the world chase comfort while you build control. Let them call it manipulation, or you call it mastery. Because when you move with awareness, every emotion becomes a weapon and every silence becomes a strategy. Remember this, you don't win the silent battlefield by being louder, you win it by being smarter, by seeing what others refuse to see. That attraction, loyalty, and even love are all forms of power exchange. The question is, are you the one who gives it or the one who controls it? If you've made it this far, you're not average. You're part of the few who see beneath the surface.
Comment, I see the game below, and let's see how many men are truly waking up.
And if this video resonated with you, hit that like button, not for validation, but as a sign that you understand this truth. Power belongs to the aware, because this was only the first lesson. Now, in the next episode, we'll go even deeper. We'll expose the next layer of manipulation, not the one used by women, but the one used by society itself, as to keep men obedient, distracted, and weak. You think you've seen the battlefield? You haven't even stepped into the war room yet. Click the video on your screen. The psychology of control, how society manipulates men without them knowing. Watch that next. And arm yourself with the knowledge no one wants you to have. Subscribe, stay sharp, and remember, in this world, love is emotional. But survival, that's psychological.
Welcome to the silent battlefield.